Hi guys. I'm following up on yesterday's video about abandonment. In hindsight, this one actually probably should have gone first, but everything happens for a reason. So here is a follow-up on yesterday's abandonment video. Um, I want to talk about abandoning ourselves. It's the kind of abandonment that runs way deeper and it sets the stage for all the others to abandon us. The truth is, I realized that we really can't talk about healing without talking about how we abandoned ourselves first. Um, Once you see it, you cannot unsee it. And and when we do it to ourselves, we leave the door wide open for others to do it to us. It's like an invitation, permission. Um, Self-abandonment starts really young, actually. Maybe you were told that children should be seen and not heard. Maybe you learned that anger was inappropriate, or you were taught to suppress your emotions, to be polite, to keep the peace, to fit into social norms. All of these things precipitate us abandoning ourselves, and we get used to that. Over time, we learn to ignore our feelings or just to avoid them altogether, to avoid conflict, um, to silence the truth so nobody gets uncomfortable, to settle for relationships, jobs, and situations that drain our very soul. I think we've all been there. Um, we neglect our needs, our physical, emotional, and spiritual needs for the sake of others. We override our inner voice just to gain someone else's approval or to keep someone else happy. Um, when we do these things, we create a deep disconnect to who we really are. That disconnection is what leaves us feeling empty, unseen, unworthy, and often self loathing. And sometimes we can't even figure out why, or we don't see it. The first step to healing and learning to stop abandoning ourselves is to look in the mirror, to get honest, look at ourselves and say, I haven't been showing up for me and I'm ready to start. Um, Healing begins when we listen to our inner voice, when we listen to our feelings, our emotions, our gut, our intuition, that deep knowing that's inside of us that's screaming to be let out that we just keep pushing down. I know I did. It's again a really shitty feeling, and to not understand what's happening or know why, we can't fix it. Um, I think that healing is about coming home to ourselves, to be able to look at ourselves, to be able to look at our darker parts, to be able to look at the whole big picture and be self aware, to pay attention to your emotions, to pay attention to your gut instincts, to pay attention to how you feel about something versus how you think. In the beginning, at least, pay attention to those feelings. What comes up for you? Um, we need to recognize the ways that we left ourselves behind and then make a conscious choice to return back to ourselves. Um, when we start to do this, I know for me, when I started to do this, I started to feel whole again. I started to truly live. I started to find peace. I started to find joy, gratitude, happiness. It's an inner peace that you project outward once you start being true to yourself again and you know who you are. Um, and once you start to do that, you'll learn to never abandon yourself again, not for any reason. It takes work, and the work is not easy in the beginning, but it is so worth it. I highly recommend it. Um, I hope that you find my videos helpful. And I really hope that even if it's just one person that I reach who can start themselves on a healing journey, this is all worth it to me. Because that one person will have a butterfly effect on other people. And let's face it, we all need to help each other on this journey. It's not something that we can do all by ourselves. Um, I'm still working on a few things in the background. I'm hoping to have some things released by the end of the summer. And I hope that you walk this journey with me and have a wonderful evening.